So yesterday we did systems and I showed you how to do them by hand, graphing them. We're going to do the same thing today. The only difference is that there are two equations that we're, or two inequalities that we're going to graph. So here's the difference is we have two. I'm going to actually start with number 12. Oh, the whole thing is not, I keep doing that. Thank you. I think I need new batteries. So again, I'm going to start with number 12. All right. So the first one is y is less than or equal to x minus 2. So just like yesterday, we started at -2. Our slope, the number in front of x is 1. To make it rise over run, we put a 1 underneath it. So we rise 1, run 1. And then is this equation or inequality solid or dashed? Solid. Very good. Why is it solid? Because it has a line. And then we plugged in 0, 0 as long as it didn't go through it. So we have y is less than or equal to x minus 2. We plugged in zeros for x and y. And we got 0 is less than or equal to -2. Is that true or false? So we do not shade 0, 0. We shade the other side. All right. We do the same thing for the other equation. We're going to graph it on the same coordinate plane. So this one starts at +3, and I'm going to do it in a different color so you guys can see the difference. And then we have a slope of -4/1. So that means I go down 4 and over 1, and they cross at the same point right there. Down 4 and over 1. And then it has a line. So it's solid. So I'm going to connect my dots. And then it didn't go through 0, 0. So I'm going to do 0, 0 for that one. Y is greater than or equal to -4x plus 3. I'm going to plug in 0, 0. Your 0 cancels out, and you're left with 0 is greater than or equal to 3, which is false. So we shade the side that's not 0, 0. And then where they both overlap, is your full answer. Okay. So we don't include these coordinates, the blue coordinates we don't include, but the red and the blue, or where I've highlighted orange, is exactly where your answers are. So every one of those coordinates in that orange will be true if I plug them into those inequalities. That's all it is. Okay, so same thing we did yesterday, you're just graphing 2 on there. All right, so I'm gonna go back to number 11. Remember, if it's y equals a number, it's a horizontal line. And this one is solid because it's equal to, and it's at 2. So horizontal, solid, at 2. You can plug in 0, 0. So 0 for whatever letters. And then we see that 0 is not greater than 2. So we do not shade 0, 0. Right. So the bottom one starts at -3. Our slope is -5/1, so we go down 5 and over 1. Can't really do that on this graph, but I can go up 5 and to the left 1. And this one again is solid. It looks like this. We can plug in 0, 0 since the line didn't touch it. So our inequality is y is less than or equal to negative 5x minus 3. 0 is less than or equal to negative 5 times 0 minus 3. Your 0 does not count. Is 0 less than or equal to negative 3? Try again. Negative 3. Yeah, so negative 3 is false. So don't shade 0, 0. We're going to shade this side. And then again, where they overlap, this top corner up here is where your actual solution is. Any questions? So again, same thing we did yesterday. All right, when you're done with that one, flip it over. The only way they get any harder is if it's not equal to y. Okay, and remember I showed you how to use Desmos yesterday. It'll work on this as well. All right. So when you do your homework, while we're doing our notes, we're going to do it by hand. When you do your homework, you can do it in Desmos. Okay. All right. So this next one, look at your first equation. It starts at negative 1. We have a slope of 4 over 1. So rise 4, run 1. Or down 4 over 1. How about I do 4 and not 3? Sorry, y'all. I think I did that all day yesterday. Is this one solid or dashed? Dashed, because it's not equal to. And remember how I told you to do that? You can just make it like that. It does not go through 0, 0, so we're just going to plug that in. So 0 is less than 4 times 0 minus 1. The 0 doesn't count. So is 0 less than negative 1? Nope. So shade the side without 0, 0. So that's this side. All right. The second equation starts at 2. Its slope is 1 over 1, so up 1 over 1. Is it solid or dashed? Solid, because it's equal to. And then we plug in 0, 0 because it didn't go through it. So y is greater than or equal to x plus 2. 0 is greater than or equal to 0 plus 2. And 0 plus 2 is 2. Is 0 greater than 2? No. And so I did a really crappy job shading, so I'm going to make sure that I go back and shade all the way around so you guys can see it. We don't do 0, 0, so we're doing the top of this line. And the place that they both cross is this little tiny triangle up here. So again, don't learn from my mistake. Make sure that you shade really good on the one side. All right. 14. We're going to do a couple more of these. How many we got? 20. We're going to do a couple more of these. Let's just go to number 16. Go to number 16. All right. So when we look at 16, the first one, we start at positive 1. And we go down 2 and over 3. So something like this, or up 2 and over 3. Is it solid or dashed? It's going to be dashed. Why? Yeah, it doesn't have a line. So I'm going to turn my paper so I can dash it a little better. There you go. Plug in 0, 0. Y is greater than negative 2/3. Sorry, we'll go ahead and put the X there. Jumping the gun. Plus 1. Put in 0, 0. The 0 doesn't matter. And is 0 greater than 1? Is 0 greater than 1? No, so that's a false statement. So don't shade 0, 0. So we're going to shade this whole side over here. We're going to graph the second one. It starts at 3. You do the same thing, go down to an over 3. What kind of lines are these? Do they ever touch? Do they? No. So what kind of lines are they? Parallel. They never touch. All right. Is it solid or dashed? Dashed. Mm-hmm. You're going to plug in 0, 0. So y is greater than negative 2/3 x plus 3. Plug in 0. The 0 doesn't matter on that side. So is 0 greater than 3? No. So do not shade 0, 0 side. So you're going to shade this side. And it just happens that all of that is your answer. So I just wanted to show you one with with parallel lines. All right. Any questions so far? Again, same thing we did yesterday. We're just doing 2 graphs at one time. Flip it over. So the first 3 are exactly the same. We've got to get it into y equals. So remember your steps. Your first step is to move x. And your second step is to divide by the number with y. So I'm going to move this equation or inequality to the bottom. And my first step is to move x. So how do I move this x? It's a positive 2x. So what do I do? Subtract 2x. Now, if you look, it's already a positive y. I don't have to do any more steps. Greater than negative 2x minus 1. So that's your first equation. Where does that one start? Negative 1. How do I move? Is it solid or dashed? Dashed.
I don't know why, but right now baseball stadium 3 times.
Gosh. We're going to take that inequality, and because it doesn't go through 0, 0, we're going to plug it in. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 0 is 0. Is 0 greater than negative 1? Yes. So we're going to shade the side with 0, 0. And then we're going to do the same thing with the other equation. How do I get this y by itself? What's our first step?
and then subtract.
Subtract the 2x just like on the other one. The difference is you have a negative y here that you have to bring down. So we get negative y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 3. Minus 3. And then our last step is divide by the number with y. So this is a negative 1. Don't forget, if you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip the inequality sign. So we're going to change it to greater than. And then we get positive 2x and a positive 3. Now, here's what I want to tell you. If you forget that rule, it's not going to hurt you on this as long as you plug into this equation, okay? So this would only matter if you plug in 0, 0 to this equation, but that's why I keep going back and plug it into the original, okay? So how do I graph this? I start at 3. I start at 3. My slope is rise 2, run 1, or go completely opposite. Is it solid or dashed? Solid or dashed? Solid. And then we're going to plug in 0, 0, but I'm going to plug it into this equation up here. So 2x minus y is less than or equal to negative 3. We're going to plug in 0, 2 times 0 minus 0 is less than or equal to negative 3. 2 times 0 is 0, minus 0 is 0. Less than or equal to negative 3. Is 0 less than negative 3? No, so we shape the side without 0, 0. And we can see that little top triangle is our answer. We're going to do one more of these by hand, one more by hand, and then I'll show you on Desmos a couple of them. Okay, you don't have to graph them on your paper. You just have to look at them on Desmos. All right, so we're going to do number 20. We're going to start with that first equation. X plus 2y is greater than or equal to negative 4. Our first step is to move x. It's a positive x. So I'm going to subtract x. I get 2y is greater than or equal to a negative x and a negative 4. And then the last step is to get y by itself by dividing by 2. Make sure you divide everything by 2. Our inequality stays the same. We didn't divide by a negative, so we're good to go. Negative x is the same thing as negative 1. So we actually have negative 1/2 x. And negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. All right. Start at negative 2. We're going to go down 1 and over 2. Or up 1 and over 2. And is it solid or dashed? Solid. I'm going to take the original equation from the very top. X plus 2y is greater than or equal to negative 4. And I'm going to plug in 0, 0. Zero plus 2 times 0 is 0. Is 0 greater than negative 4? Yes, 0 is greater than negative 4. It's okay. It's okay. So we shade the side with 0, 0. And then we work on that second equation. which is 3x minus 2y is less than or equal to -4. What's my first step? Subtract what?
Subtract the 3.
Move the x. Perfect. We bring down the -2y, make sure you bring that negative with it. Less than or equal to a -3x and a -4. We're going to divide by -2. When we divide by a negative, make sure that you flip the inequality. And again, if you don't, it's not going to matter as long as you plug into the top equation. Negative over a negative makes a positive 3/2 x. -4 divided by -2 makes a positive 2. Where do we start? How do we move? Up 3/2. Or we can go down 3/2. Is this one solid or dashed? Is this one solid or dashed? Solid. It has a line, so draw a line. And then, like I told you, plug it into the other one, the one from the beginning. -3x minus 2y is less than or equal to -4. We're plugging in 0, 0. 3 times 0 is 0. -2 times 0 is 0. So it's all 0 less than or equal to -4. Is that true or false? False. So we shade the side without 0, 0. And then where they both overlap is where your answers are. Okay. So now I'm going to go back in Desmos and show you 18 and 19, okay? The other ones are easy. They're just y equals or whatever. So I'm going to stop sharing this. Give me just a minute to pull it up. And then we're going to look at Desmos. So 18 says 4x plus y is less than -2. And you guys can see that it's dashed and where it's shaded. And then you're going to do the other one, x minus y. But remember, to get greater than or equal to, you got to go down here, -3. And then there you can see your answer. So if it's multiple choice, you can absolutely use this. If you have to graph it, you're probably going to have to do it by hand. All right. So all of that shade together, and I don't know if at home you can see my mouse, all of that shade together right there is exactly what you're looking for. Okay. It tells you if it's solid, tells you if it's dashed. So make sure that you know that. All right. We'll do number 19, and then I'll let you get to work on your homework. If you have any makeup work, you need to get that done as well. Today is the very last day. If you turn it in tomorrow, it will not go in the grading period. So you have till midnight tonight to get that done. Greater than or equal to 1. So this is number 19. And you guys can see, let me minimize this a little bit, what it looks like. So one is solid, one is dashed, but then over here where everything is at. And if you want to change the color, you can change the color too. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Just so you can see it a little better. Any questions about Desmos? Pretty simple, right? All right. So I'm going to stop sharing and stop recording.